What are you seeing?
This is the biggest break that I've seen in the first 4 months of Trump's return to office between his pro-Trump propaganda machine, those pro-Trump stars that are always supporting him, and the president. This is a dramatic break, not among every single MAGA media star out there, but among many of them. It's one thing for Democratic lawmakers to be calling this profoundly unethical and possibly illegal. We've heard a lot of that. But some MAGA media commentators are saying the same things. In the past 24 hours, we've heard prominent pro-Trump media stars call this plan to accept a jet from Qatar to use as Air Force One a, quote, bribe, a grift, and a stain on the administration. And this is even coming from figures like Laura Loomer, the far-right provocateur, who has a direct line to Trump. I mean, these are people who are usually steadfast supporters of the president, but in this case, they're speaking out against the deal. Let me show you two examples. One is from Ben Shapiro, who co-founded the Daily Wire. He's a prominent podcaster. The other is Eric Erickson, the radio talk show host.
That's not America first. Like, please define America first in a way that says you should take sacks of cash from the Qatari royals who are behind Al Jazeera. It just isn't America first in any conceivable way. If you want President Trump to succeed, this kind of skeezy stuff needs to stop.
My problem with taking this plane from Qatar is I do not think the president of the United States of America should sit and fly on a plane purchased with the same money used to murder American citizens.
As you hear there, a lot of the criticism centers on Qatar, which has been a home for Hamas leaders for a number of years, though the country reportedly kicked out those Hamas officials back last November, right after Trump won the election. So a lot of the criticism is about Qatar and about what Qatar's trying to get from President Trump. Some of the other commentators are focusing on the optics of this, the appearance of conflict. Ben Shapiro, for example, was saying to his viewers yesterday, what if the Bidens did this? What if it was Hunter or Joe Biden? And trying to say this is hypocritical and trying to take a principled stand. You know, since we're talking about an airplane, here's an airplane reference, right? There's different wings of right-wing media. There's different cabins on this plane. There are conservative outlets like National Review that support lots of parts of Trump's agenda, but are often critical of the man himself. So National Review is out with an editorial this morning calling this a poison plane, saying this gifted 747 is ethically suspect and made worse by the fact that Qatar is no friend of the U.S. That's National Review. But even figures who are very closely aligned with the president, I mentioned Laura Loomer. She has been outspoken on X, on the social media platform, in the last 2 days, almost trying to get Trump's attention, trying to get him to change his mind. What I have not seen a lot of, though, is a lot of television coverage of this on Fox News. So if the president is watching Fox on his trip abroad, he's not hearing a lot of this criticism, but it is definitely prominent all across right-wing social media and the podcasting realm, Kate.
So, I mean, who is speaking out supporting? Who is speaking out defending the president's move here?
Right, that's the other interesting thing about this. I'm talking all about the condemnations. There's not a lot of defense. There's not a lot of support out there. You're not seeing lots of editorial writers or columnists on the right who are defending this proposed jet gift. Instead, those figures are just ignoring this, trying to pretend like it's not happening. And of course, we don't know for sure if it will happen. Qatar has pushed back on some of the reports, and the White House says this is still under review. So it's quite possible this deal could fall apart over time. However, we know the president really does want a new version of Air Force One. He's been very loud and outspoken about this. And yesterday he said you'd be stupid not to take a free gift. So I've seen some right-wing media outlets just amplifying that Trump message and blaming the media. But what's notable here is that there's mostly just an ignoring sort of a reaction going on, trying to pretend this isn't happening. So you either have a lot of criticism from the right, or you have folks trying to pretend that it's not going to happen at all. But figures like Eric Erickson, who you heard from a moment ago, Eric Erickson thinks this could end up getting Trump in legal trouble going down the road. So there are figures who are supportive of the president, who want him to succeed, but they think this is actually going to hurt him, and that's why you're hearing so much criticism.
Interesting. Brian.